It's a long, long time ago in a galaxy far, far away. Good afternoon. I'd like to call the meeting to order and welcome all those who are in attendance today, as well as those who are live streaming. We have our full council present today, including our newest, Bob Rush. Welcome, Bob. Thank you. Also present are Cliff Gravier, our town manager, Terry Tiemann, our assistant town manager, Raylene Menominee, our town clerk, Will Wharton, our head of IT, our police chief, Patrick Foley, and officers Greg Contorno and Molly Ryan. Welcome. We also have present with us our town solicitor, Jim Ligori, who is visiting with us today. And I think that's it for, Amy Cresto from the police department is in the back as well. Okay, would we all please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance? First off, pledge allegiance to the flag
of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, on the agenda today, I'm going to make one change. I would like to move under new business the promotion of Gregory Contorno and Molly Ryan up to follow the financial report and before announcements. So it'll be before, right after the financial report and before announcements. Do we have approval of the agenda? Do we have a motion?
I move.
Second.
Second. Any discussion? Those in favor?
Aye.
Okay. Approval of the minutes of our regular meeting held August 16th, 2024. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Those in favor?
Aye.
Okay. Approval of the organizational meeting held on September the 16th, 2024. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Second?
Second.
Any discussion? Those in favor?
Aye.
Approval of the financial report. Mrs. Keel.
Thank you, Mayor. This report covers the budget through September 30th, 2024. We are 50% of the way through the fiscal year 2025. Revenue is on target. We have collected 72.6% of the budgeted revenue compared to 75% last year. Our operating expenses are also on target. We have expended 56.6% of our budget compared to 56.2% last year. Recognizing that this report is subject to audit, I move that the council approve this unaudited report.
Yeah, I got it up here, right next.
Second.
Second.
All in favor? Any discussion?
Nope.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. Okay.
I'd like to move on to the promotion of Gregory Contorno and Molly Ryan, Mayor Califf and Police Chief Foley. You're up.
Before I turn it over to Chief Foley, I'd like to say that I know both of the fine officers here today. I have met them at events and while patrolling around town. I'm one of those guys that kind of walks around town all the time. And I'm truly impressed by their professionalism and dedication to Bethany Beach. Patrolman Contorno and Ryan are both came from our seasonal program, as have all but one of our police force, a truly impressive fact in my mind. It is an honor to see them advance up the ladder. Chief.
Mayor, council, town manager, residents, and guests. As the Chief of Police of the Bethany Beach Police Department, I want to thank you all for your continued support of this outstanding agency, as well as publicly recognizing the efforts and accomplishments of the members of this department. Molly Ryan, you want to come on up here? Stand right here. Prior to Bethany Beach Police Department, Molly resided in New Jersey and was an avid soccer player and coach. She attended Rowan University, obtaining her bachelor's degree in law and justice. She joined Bethany Beach Police Department as a seasonal officer for the summer of 2019 and 2020. Molly received a letter of commendation for her efforts in recovering a stolen bicycle during that time. Good job. During the summer of 2020, Molly was hired full-time by the Wicomico County Sheriff's Office, which she would serve until being hired by the time Bethany Beach Police Department picked her up in the fall of 2022. From the start, Molly made a significant impact with her strong work ethic. Molly is a continual one of the top officers in traffic and criminal arrests. Her desire to always go beyond the stop has led to acquiring 4 illegal firearms off the streets. Molly has consistently displayed a strong initiative as an investigator. She's not just known as a crime fighter, she also displays a great compassion for those she serves. Molly has received 2 letters of commendation this year alone, 2 separate incidences, for helping 2 elderly people in which their vehicle became disabled. One of them was Saturday at 4:45 in front of St. Anne's, so you can imagine the chaos that caused. Molly stood by them for almost 2 hours until the vehicle was repaired and towed away, excuse me, and then she provided them a ride home. The Bethany Beach Police Department is grateful for Molly's dedication and commitment to excellence and is proud to announce her promotion to the rank of Patrolman First Class. Greg Contorno, want to come on up? Prior to joining Bethany Beach Police Department, Greg resided in New Jersey as well. I think there's something in the water up there. Greg resided in New Jersey as well. He was an active emergency medical technician with the Bud Lake Rescue Squad. He obtained his associate's degree in criminal justice from County College of Morris. Greg is an active reservist with the United States Marines, where he served as an aircraft rescue and firefighting specialist. In May of 2022, Greg joined the Bethany Beach Police Department as a seasonal police officer, which his performance was exemplary. In fact, Greg was recognized for his life-saving efforts of a subject to experience a cardiac arrest while he was a seasonal officer. Throughout the summer, Greg's interactions with residents and visitors left a lasting impression on the community. In October of 2022, Greg was hired as a full-time officer and attended the Delaware State Police Academy, graduating in the spring of 2023. He continued his passion for interacting with the community as a full-time officer, receiving several commendations for his service. This year, Greg has taken a lead role in the recruitment efforts by visiting colleges, campuses, and informing them of Bethany Beach Police Department's unique seasonal program. Greg is an exceptional representative of the agency, always holding himself to the highest standard and making it a priority to interact with the community he serves every day. The Bethany Beach Police Department is grateful for Greg's representation of the agency and his commitment to making a difference in the community. The Bethany Beach Police Department is proud to announce Greg's promotion to the rank of Patrolman First Class.
Semper Fi.
congratulations. May I come over and just shake your hand?
Oh, boy.
Great. Congratulations. Molly, congratulations. Thank you. Appreciate it. Yeah.
Greg, back to work.
Okay.
Just be careful.
Yep. Okay, we will move on right now to announcements. Is there any, I have no further announcements. Does anybody in the audience have anything? Does anybody, well, first of all, does anybody in council have anything? No. Anybody in the audience? I know, Larry, you wanted to say something? Please. Yep. And please state your name and your address.
I've done this a few times, not in a while.
I figured.
Larry Fischel, 97D Captain's Walk, Bethany Beach, 19930. So I want to thank the Cultural and Historic Affairs Committee for forcing me to take Perrier residence a number of years ago. And we had the good fortune of having them visit us now twice. I'm teasing about the forcing them. I did it voluntarily. And then we've also met people from Bad Falling-Basel in Germany. And we were hosted there, Nancy and myself, this summer. They've made overtures to wanting to become a potential sister city, which I think is premature at this time. But what I will do is they're talking about visiting in 2026, and I would love it to be a sister city situation, but if not, I'm willing to take the ball and run with it. I'll arrange them to come, I'll arrange for hosts, and I'll arrange for the expenses that goes into it. If Bethany wants to partner with me, that's great. If not, that's okay too. But if they want to come, I'd like them to come, because what I found in spending time with the people from Bad Falling-Basel as well as from Perrier, sharing cultures is amazing. Getting to know individuals around the world are amazing. I heard from somebody from Bad Falling-Basel as recently as 5 minutes ago. So we're keeping those communications open, which I think is great, and it would be a real growth to people around here, as well as people outside of here, Ocean View, Lois, Rehoboth, Ocean City. Many of them have already volunteered to do this. But anyway, there's no visit even beginning to be planned until possibly 2026, so this is not a rush. But I wanted to be out there. I'd like the town council to discuss it and see if we can have a relationship with them as Bethany Beach or Delmarva or anything else. But either way, I'm going to make sure that it happens that they want to come. And as far as expenses, if you're concerned, I'll share them with you or I'll take them on myself. But I like the idea of having people meet. I loved watching Mayor Rosemary giving the talk in Perrier and having her be so important in what happened here when they came to visit last summer. So we have a great town to be proud of. They want to see us. I want them to see us. And one way or another, if they want to come, I'll do my very best to make it happen, and I'd love the town to be involved. Thank you.
Larry, I would suggest that maybe you put something in writing down and... Pardon me? Can I write? Okay, would you put something down, just kind of state what your thoughts are, what you'd like, and then either send it to me, you've got my address, so send it to me, it'll be good. Okay, thank you very much. Okay, we're moving on to reports. Mr. Hinman and Mrs. Keel, would you, a report on the Bicycle and Safety Committee?
Sure. Thank you, Mayor. Teresa and I will split this up. So we just wanted to give you a little bit of an upgrade. If you go to the next chart, there's just two, yeah. So at our last meeting, our team sort of did a little bit of a, in addition to the normal business, sort of stop and reflect a little bit on the previous or the current season and what went well, what we liked, what we'd like to do differently going forward. But one of the things we highlighted were the things that we really felt good about, and we've gotten a lot of feedback. So I'm not going to go through the whole list. These are things that we were involved with last year that we'd like to continue into the coming 2025 season. In addition to some other, this is not meant to be all-inclusive, but these were the ideas that the team came through or shared that were really very positive. The next part, if we go to the next chart, is what we're having. Oh, I'm sorry, I've got it here. Okay, thank you. So what we're doing on Thursday of this coming week is what we really, as much as it's important for our team to be involved in thinking about it, the most important part is to get as many members of the community sharing their ideas and perspectives of what we like to do. So we're having a sort of an idea generation workshop on Thursday at 10 o'clock here. Very informal, but it's really just to be it's an idea generation session. We'll have anyone who wants to come share an idea, why they think it's important. We're not going to get in and debate things. We're not going to make decisions in this meeting. It's really just to sort of do a whiteboarding, if you will, of some ideas that'll help us then augment the things that we've already identified as things we're going to work on. So that'll be coming up next Thursday. I'd invite anyone who's available to please come, share your ideas. All the ideas will be captured, and then our team will take that and start to work on our plan, setting our priorities for next year. Teresa, any?
The only thing I'd like to add is that we did this last year and it was successful. We had, 10 to 15 people here who brought up a lot of great ideas that were on the list that Mickey had earlier. And this committee was formed because of feedback from the community that pedestrian bicycle safety was important to the town, and so we want to serve your needs. So please come to our meeting and bring your ideas, or send us an email. If you can't make it Thursday at 10, that's great. That's not a problem. Just send us an email and we'll add your ideas to the list. Thank you.
Thank you, Mayor.
Okay.
Any questions or thoughts from the council?
Thank you, Mr. Hinman and Mrs. Keel. Our next item is the report from the Planning and Zoning Commission. Mr. Shepley.
Thank you, Mayor. The Planning and Zoning Commission held a meeting on August 17th, 2024. The purpose of the meeting was to review a sketch plan for a proposed PRD, Planned Residential Development, for the property located at 867 Garfield Parkway on the north side of Garfield, almost to the entrance to Bethany, Lake Bethany. The sketch plan is the first step in the approval process for a PRD. And what's a sketch plan? It is a blueprint plan of the proposed changes, but it's in its initial form and meant for initial discussion and informal review by the Planning and Zoning Commission. The lot currently has one single-family home on it, and the owner wishes to build 2 townhomes behind the single-family home. So the commissioners reviewed the plans, asked a number of questions of the architect engineer that was there, and made several comments on what would be required in the next step of this process. The plans with the comments went back to the owner and the architect for the next step in this process, which could be another sketch plan or a more formal plan. The proverbial ball is now in the owner's court. Questions?
Thank you,
Thank
Mr. Shepley.
The next report is from the Storm, Water, and Flood Committee. Mayor Caleb.
A meeting of the Stormwater and Flood Committee was called to order at 2 o'clock on Thursday, October the 3rd, with all committee members present except Chip Smith and John Russell. We had a pretty decent audience that day as well. Jordana Cuttajar, a Denarec resilience planner, provided an excellent presentation on their iAdapt flood planning adaptation tool, which is meant for residents, things that they can do on their property and on their house to more flood prepare it. She included information on Denarec's climate action plan, as well as the upcoming October the 29th public forum on it in Georgetown. That could be very informative if anybody's interested. It's in Georgetown. I believe it's 4 o'clock in the afternoon, but you could find that out if you just Google Denrec. We discussed the town's recent efforts to clean the important Stewart's Watch Tingle drainage swale, which services large areas of Bethany West and Candlelight area. That's all their stormwater runs down that swale. This came about as a result of a meeting with the community representatives from Stewart's Watch. It was worked out rather well. We discussed the recent Federal Water Resources Development Act of 2024, championed by Senator Carper, which expands the federal replenishment contribution to 80% from the past 65%, a major move, and as well as it also provides extensive grant money opportunities for resilience efforts. Our town manager, Cliff Gravier, updated all those present on the status of the Assawoman Loop Canal Flap Dam project, the Loop Canal bulkhead, living shoreline, and dredging efforts, some of which are planned to take place in this current off-season. The Back Bay study was also discussed. It is restarting. The DelDOT Route 1 efforts, including the ongoing Indian River inlet repairs, and Denarec's shoreline management economic study. So a lot of things going on that Cliff went over and discussed. Matt Kirks, a member of our committee, also updated us on the continuing of the Bethany homeowners help the town fight flooding efforts, which we will be resuming shortly in the off-season. And that concludes my report. We will move on to the Cultural and Historical Affairs Committee. Mrs. Califf.
Gonna have to separate this again.
The Cultural and Historical Affairs Committee held a meeting on Tuesday, October 8th. We had a discussion about possibly creating a tour of the Dinker Irvin Museum tailored to 4th and 5th graders. And we will be contacting Lord Baltimore School to see if that's something that would be of interest to them. We also discussed bringing back trolley tours of the Heritage Trail, but this time with a recorded tour. This would allow us to add more information about each house, and because the playback would be coming through speakers, everyone would be able to hear it. In September, we had 76 visitors to the Dinker Irvin Museum, with Mondays and Wednesdays seeing the most traffic. November will be the start of winter hours at the museum, and we will be open only on Saturdays from 11 to 1. Our first fall program, Shipwrecks of the Eastern Seaboard, was held October 16th. It was an excellent program with many in attendance. Actually, it was a standing room only performance. It was great. We were very pleased about that.
It was incredible.
Also on October 16th, as a thank you for the many, many volunteer hours given to the Dinker Irvin Museum, we hosted a docent appreciation luncheon at the Cottage Cafe. Carol Olmsted was presented with a gift certificate to one of her favorite restaurants as a thank you for all that she has done for the museum. That's my report.
Thank you, Mrs. Califf. Our next report is from the Budget and Finance Committee. No chuckling this time.
Thank
Mrs.
you, Mayor.
Keel.
The Budget and Finance Committee met on Thursday, October 17th, to review the second quarter of fiscal year 2025. The town's revenues are, for the first half, were $10 million, which is 4% higher than the prior fiscal year. The main reasons being trash rates, the increased trash rates that took effect in May, and the higher interest rates being paid by the town's investments. The transfer tax is down this year, although several homes, I think about 13, are expected to close this month, so we expect that to come in a little higher. The town's operating expenses were $6.7 million, which is 7% higher than last year, mainly due to the increase in higher personnel costs for lifeguards and summer police officers, both of which are fully staffed this year after being very understaffed last year. The committee had a preliminary discussion of our next year's budget. We will be considering an adjustment to water use rates, which have not been increased for 10 years. Given the length of time since the last rate change, an increase of 20% may be considered at our next meetings. The next Budget and Finance Committee meeting is tentatively planned for Thursday, October 16th. That's my report. January. What did I say? I said October. January 16th. Thank you.
Thank you, Mrs. Keel. The next report, Cliff Gravier, our town manager.
Mayor, council, as you all know, we were late in the summer opening up our pay-to-park lot in the church parking lot. Opened up probably early July. I think by and large, it's been a great success for us. We brought in roughly $65,000 in gross in that parking lot at that pay station from mid-July to the end of the season. Concerns we had that the grass-gravel combination wouldn't hold up weren't borne out, mainly probably because we had a very dry summer. But I think as the lot became better known, it was always full. People found it and easy to get to. And I think it's been a great addition to our pay-to-park program here in Bethany Beach. Speaking of parking and parking lots, we are finally in the process of paving the parking lot immediately east of the Blue Crab. It's been years in the coming. We have put it off for a while because of considerations or concerns about the pervious surface and what we could do to take care of that issue. And to that end, we've installed an 80-foot long, 5-foot wide, essentially a French drain in the middle of the lot with 3 different grates to drain into it with the lot graded to the drains. So I think we've taken care of that particular issue, and that I think will be a great aesthetic enhancement to Garfield Parkway. We're doing it later on in the agenda. We'll review, and I hope the council approves, a contract for $130,000 to design 6 new ramps from the street side of the boardwalk to the boardwalk, and also to do an assessment of the boardwalk, the entire 2,200 linear feet of the boardwalk. That assessment also includes a review of the bulkhead that separates the paver portion of the boardwalk from the board section of the boardwalk, which is deteriorating to the point in time that some of the pavers are falling into the surface below. So we're getting that done, and hopefully sooner rather than later, so we can make any remedial changes that need to be done to the boardwalk before the summer season. Something else we've asked the engineers to do as they do this is to give us a replacement cost for the boardwalk. The last time we had one of those done was in the 2004-2005 timeframe, and the estimated replacement cost for the boardwalk at that point in time was $8 million. So it'll be interesting to see how that has changed and what impact that has. The Commission on Accreditation for Law Enforcement is the gold standard for accreditation and recognition of professionalism in law enforcement and police departments in America. Our department has been accredited since 2008, and we were due recently for an accreditation that was put off as we went through the change of leadership issues we had within the police department. We have finally had our on-site assessment by CALEA assessors. The police department walked away with flying colors and a great report, and they'll be on the docket at the next CALEA meeting to be reaccredited. And Mayor, that's all I have.
Thank you, Mr. Gravier. Does anybody have any questions for Cliff? Thank you. Before we go into new business, I would just like to state that there will be an opportunity for public to address questions on agenda items after initial council discussion and before council votes. So just, if anybody has any comments, be aware. The next item, we are moving into new business, will be first reading of an ordinance amending Chapter 282, Peace and Good Order, Article 12, Special Events, Section 28, Definitions of the Bethany Town Code. Councilman McHugh.
Thank you, Mayor. This is a proposed ordinance amendment to change the definition of special event within that section, peace and good order. And the intent of this change is to clarify that the town has the authority to regulate daycare camps within the town's jurisdiction. The way it was written before, it wasn't clear that the town had that authority. So this amendment, and should I read the section itself? We're amending the definition of special event, which will now read, if this is adopted, as follows. The definition of special event: any public assembly or gathering of people which may, because of the location, time, or anticipated number of persons involved, be reasonably expected to have an impact upon the ordinary use of the public streets, right-of-way, sidewalks, boardwalk, beach, or any other public areas. By way of an example, and not in limitation, special event includes fairs, festivals, parades, motorcades, bicycle rides, races, day camps, rallies, marches, processions, walking events, and concerts. Private social gatherings on private property are not included. So the impact of the change would be to add day camps within the events that would be considered special events. The impact of the change would be to bring the day camps within the sphere of this area, which would allow the town to regulate such events, and to, before they were to happen, have to issue permits to allow them to happen. The town manager, if this were adopted, would have the authority to approve or deny permits for these things, and they could not occur without getting a permit. It would also dovetail in other sections of this section, which talks to requiring insurance before such a permit could be issued, which of course would protect the town and potentially folks in the town, and to dovetail also in the cleanup section. So if those special events were to occur, as a condition for getting the permits, they would be required to clean up after themselves if and when such a permit were issued. So that's the intent of the change and what it would do in terms of dovetailing into other sections of that section of the ordinance.
Okay, thank you, Councilman McHugh. This is a first reading, so this is not a voted, we're not voting on it today, but is there any council questions or comments? Anybody from the audience, questions or comments? So this will come up at our next meeting, and we will be voting on it at that time. Moving on to the next item, discussion, consideration, and possible vote for beach concession services for the summers of 2025, 26, 27, 28, and 29, a 5-year contract. Councilman Shepley, would you go over that, please?
Thank you, Mayor. Council, you have a packet in front of you concerning this item. In late August, the town sent out a request for proposals for a concession to rent beach equipment on our public beaches. The proposal stated that the contract would be let for 5 years. Our current contract is expiring at the end of this year, so this would start in on January 1st of 2025 and run through December 31st of 2029. Only one proposal will be accepted by the town, and only one proposal was submitted. So it made our choice a little bit easy. Although we don't have to accept any of them if we did not find an acceptable proposal. As I mentioned, the concession license will be for a period of 5 years from January 1st, 2025 through December 31st, 2029. The one proposal that was received met all the requirements outlined in our request for proposal. As a result of that, and to start any discussions that we might want to have, I would like to make a motion that we accept the proposal from Steen's Beach Service LLC and award them a license to provide beach concession services for the period from January 1st, 2025 through December 31st, 2029.
Do we have a second?
Second.
Any discussion?
I have one question. When I read the proposal from Steens, they indicated that they wanted to have a renewable 5-year feature rolling over after. We're not considering?
We're not, no, that will not be included in the contract.
Okay, I just wanted to
It'll be
confirm.
just for the original 5 years.
Okay.
And as you indicated, it's Steen's Umbrella Services, so it's the same people who have Ron Steen, who's been here forever, and our current, and is our current and has been running for a long time. They've done tremendous for the town. We look forward to them doing it again for the next 5 years. And I see them in the back here. Thank you.
If you have any teenage kids in high school or college, call Paige.
Okay, those in favor?
Aye.
I see that was unanimous, so motion carries. Thank you. Next item on the agenda, discussion, consideration, and possible vote to establish a police accountability committee. Mr. Gravier.
Mayor, the 152nd Delaware General Assembly enacted a statute that revised the standards and the organization that administers the standards for police training in the state of Delaware. Part of that legislation includes a mandate that every municipal police department, every police department in the state, create a police accountability committee. The committee is to provide advice, documents on policy, training, and other issues relating and affecting the department and the communities served by the department. That's the wording from the legislation. I'm asking as we go forward, and later in the second item F, the mayor has a list of candidates, if the council approves the formation of the committee, that would form the committee. But again, mandated to have it, the composition is also mandated by the legislation, and the committee that's been proposed by the chief to the mayor meets those standards. So I'm asking the council to consider the formation of that committee.
Okay, and why don't I list the members of that here?
We're doing that? Sure.
So, this committee has to include a variety of individuals from various expertises. One of them is from a religious background, and Pastor Rich Polsinski, who is the pastor of the church, the Bethany Beach Church right over here, is going to be on that committee. Dan Rosenblatt, who is on the safety committee, but he's also been the chief of, I'm not sure I'm going to get this right, but he's been involved in international head of police chief organizations. Is that correct?
It's the International Association of Chiefs of Police. It's the premier world organization of police chiefs. Yes.
Okay, okay.
He's also on Mr. Himmons' Traffic and Pedestrian Committee.
Right.
Yes.
So a highly experienced person in the police arena. Aaron Turnahan, who is the owner of the Breakers Surf Shop, which has experienced a number of police activities in the shoplifting department. is also going to be on that committee. Diane Fogash will be on that committee. Diane has been very active in a number of committees in planning and zoning, and I'm trying to think of what other ones, but I know you're on some other ones.
Bicycle
Bicycle and safety. And Rosemary Hardiman, who we all know is well experienced in town affairs.
And with criminals, so. Who was that?
So we will confirm them when we get down to item F. So, thank you, Mr. Gravier. Do we have a motion to develop the state-required Police Accountability Committee?
So moved?
Second.
Any discussion? Any questions? Council, audience? Okay, those in favor?
Aye.
And I noticed that's unanimous, so motion passes. Thank you.
Next item is possible consideration and possible vote for appointments to the Planning and Zoning Committee. Mayor Caleb.
Mr. Boswell is retiring from the Planning and Zoning Commission. He's been the chair and on the commission for many years. We sincerely thank Mike for all his many years of dedication to the town and service. To fill his position, I'm going to nominate Rosemary Hardiman, our former mayor. She has extensive experience working with the Planning and Zoning Commission. She was very involved and spent many hours working with the Planning and Zoning Subcommittee in the development of our recently approved comprehensive plan. I believe she will be a great addition to the Planning and Zoning Commission. Mr. Morris.
Any comments from the audience? From the council? Do I have a motion, or do I have a second? Second. All those in favor? Aye. Nobody's
Motion
opposed?
carries.
Rosemary, you got another job. Next item is discussion, consideration, and possible vote on committee appointments. Mayor Caleb.
I believe you've all received, all our council has received the committee listings. I am not going to go and read every member of every
Oh,
committee.
come on.
Mickey's got some flow charts.
But he's probably got a,
Just
you know,
happened to have one. Just in case.
Look at the people leaving.
council does have the listing. They've had them for quite a while, and they are posted online, so anybody who would like to see who's on the committees can do so. We appointed our committee chairman at our September organizational meeting. The 2024 committees consist primarily of existing members to be reappointed, which we have to do yearly. But in several committees, and most notably the 4th of July Committee and the Cultural and Historical Affairs Committee, there are added members, and their bios were distributed recently to everybody and are available on the town website. Mr. Morris.
Do I have a second?
Second.
All those, any comments from the audience? None? Do all those in favor?
Aye.
Again, unanimous. I think you should read all the names. Only about 70.
I think there's more than that. Okay. The next item on the agenda, discussion, consideration, and possible vote on a resolution to submit an application to the Asset Management Incentive Program through the DHSS Wastewater and Drinking Water Asset Management Incentive Program for creating and maintaining an asset management system. Mr. Gravy, I hope you can clarify that for us.
Summarize it.
The Department of Health offers a $100,000 grant to municipalities to help them create and manage an asset management system for wastewater plants or water treatment plants. and not just the plants, but also the entire jurisdiction, if you will, within pipes in ground and different areas of the delivery. They help you map it, they help you develop a management plan for it, and they help identify all the various assets within the water department. Part of obtaining that grant requires that the municipality applying for the grant adopt a resolution as written here that supports the application for the loan. So I request that you consider passing the resolution so we can proceed with the application for the grant.
Okay, this is a requirement for...
It's a requirement
grants.
for the application.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. Gravier. Do I have a motion to accept?
So moved.
Second? Any discussion? Any discussion from the audience? Questions? Those in favor?
Aye.
It passes unanimously. Thank you. The next item on the agenda is discussion, consideration, and vote, and possible vote on a paving contract submitted by HCE LLC for the amount of $342,912. Mr. Gravier.
Every year, the town assesses its streets and puts together a list also using some state funds for routine maintenance of our many roadways. This year, the paving contract submitted for the streets we want to be considered for rework and also for the parking lot alongside of the Blue Crab is for $342,000. That was the low bid from 3 other vendors who did bid on the project, and this is a contract for George and Lynch, who's a very well-known company we dealt with a number of times, one of Delaware's preeminent construction companies for the project. So low bid for our annual paving project. The dollars for the project come from our budget, from this year's budget.
The low bid is HCE, right? Not George and Lynch?
Excuse me, yes, HCE. I just looked down at George and Lynch.
Okay,
Okay.
I was going to ask that one.
Okay, good. Thank you, Mr. Gravier. Do you have a motion to accept?
So moved.
Can I have some,
Second.
Any discussion?
Cliff, of that 342,000, how much is ours? Do you know? I mean, approximately.
Approximately, I think the state allocation this year to Bethany was about $120,000. The remainder would be ours.
So 120,000 of that will be paid for by the state?
By the state, yeah.
Okay. Okay, those in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries. Thank you. Next item on the agenda, discussion, consideration, possible vote on a charging system station submitted by Ford Pro Charging for the amount of $80,861. Mr. Gravier.
Through Assistant Town Manager Terry Tieman's hard work, the town picked up an Energize Delaware grant that it's allowed us to purchase 3 electric vehicles, 2 regular chargers, electric chargers, 4 vehicles, and 1 level 3 charger, 4 vehicles. We now have the vehicles. We've installed the level 2 chargers. The remaining installation we have, the remaining expenditure we have from the dollars from the grant are for the installation on a level 3 charger at the Public Works Yard. That cost is $80,861.75, borne entirely by grant money from Energize Delaware.
So that's covered by grant money?
Yes.
Okay, wonderful. Thank you, Mr. Gravier. Do I have a motion to accept?
So moved. Second.
Any discussion?
It's a no-brainer.
Yes, it's a no-brainer.
I think so.
Those in favor?
Aye.
Okay. Motion carries. Next item, discussion, consideration, possible vote for the purchase of a 2025 Freightliner M2 chassis and a Heel Durapack 5000 rear load body for the amount of $289,202. Wow, this is a garbage truck, right?
Expensive one.
Very expensive.
Yes.
It's a Ferrari garbage truck.
In this year's budget, we had $320,000 allocated and planned to purchase a new trash truck. As fate would have it, we've gone through a period of time, especially during and immediately after COVID, where these were hard to come by. This one is on the lot and ready to go. It also happens to be the low bidder from Freightliner with the heel door pack body for $289,202.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Gravely. Do I have a motion to accept?
So moved.
Second?
Second?
Okay. Discussion, questions?
Yeah, Cliff, it mentioned something about the pickups on the rear of the vehicle. Will this be equipped to, if we go to the automatic pickup system, is this equipped for that?
No, this is for the pickup from the rear. Yes, you can load the can on the rear, it'll dump the can, but those trucks are considerably more expensive,
Okay.
and we're nowhere near ready to do that, so.
Okay,
Everybody at Lake Bethany would have to participate, so.
yeah. And
So this is-
several years ago, these trucks were less than $200,000, is that correct?
No, I think they've always been in the neighborhood of 240, 250. I don't
Okay.
think we've looked at them for less than
I've
that.
always been amazed the amount that these things cost. But it's, like you say, it's stayed relatively calm as far as the escalation of cost.
Yeah, I think they've been fairly consistent with these numbers.
So this is a similar truck to what we have now?
Yes.
And is this replacing an existing one?
Yes, it is.
Okay. What do we do with the old ones?
We take them to the sale, or we find a vendor that buys those particular types of trucks, but generally we'll probably auction it.
So there is some money
Yes.
in it, so we'll get some money
Well,
back.
we use the heck out of the trucks, so there's not a lot of money in them.
Oh, I understand. I
Yes.
understand. Okay. And there's no grant money associated with this? Okay. Thank you, Mr. Gravway. Do I have a motion to accept?
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion, further discussion? Those in favor?
Aye.
Okay, thank you. The next item on the agenda, discussion, consideration, and possible vote on a contract from RK&K Engineering in the amount of $130,000 for the engineering services for the inspection of the town's 2,200-foot-long boardwalk and the design and necessary documents for the construction of 6 new boardwalk access ramps. Mr. Gravier.
As I mentioned earlier, the initial driver for this was the fact that we had a number of pavers fall into the earth below at the bandstand here this summer. Matter of fact, we lost one of the bollards, became submerged into the sand beneath the plaza area. And looking at what the issue was, the bulkhead, again, that separates both the paved area from the boardwalk plaza area, the boards themselves, is a bulkhead that no one knows its age, but it's been there longer than Brett's been here, which is 40 years, and it needs to be repaired. How we do that's going to be technically difficult, and it's something we would like to get done before the next season. We thought at the same time we were doing this, we would also have the vendor take a look at the entire boardwalk. It's not been structurally reviewed since 2004, 2005, to look for any other issues that might be pending. And again, using the same vendor, RK&K, who's been very timely in the recent issues we've been working with them on, to take a look at our boardwalk access ramps with the idea that some of them are desperately need to be repaired, and to give us some designs for that and construction documents so we can get that work done also.
And these are the access ramps that run from the parking lots to
From the
boardwalk.
blacktop to the boardwalk.
Okay, not the ones that go
No.
to the beach. Okay.
This is not in the budget, and this is something we will eventually have a supplement for.
And we may need to have remedial, this is probably not going to happen this off-season, is that correct? I mean, the actual work, the study would, but not the work.
I hope that we might be able to do something. It would depend on what the assessment tells us and what the level of work that needs to be done in the Boardwalk Plaza.
Right. Yeah, so we may have to do remedial work in different areas.
Cliff,
Possibly.
did I understand you say this is from the street to the boardwalk, not from the boardwalk to the beach?
This is from the parking lots
Okay,
up to the boardwalk.
okay.
And some of them have not, I mean, they're in dire need of replacement, some, so.
So Cliff, when you said 6 new ones, they're not necessarily new ones.
Six
they're
replacements.
Replacements, yeah, okay.
6 replacements, yes.
This
Newly
is
constructed.
basically at all the parking lots
Yes.
that are adjacent to the boardwalk.
The list is here with the contract. Would you like
Yes,
me to
yeah.
read the list?
Yes.
Would
Yeah,
this
no, no,
company be,
I- I'm sorry, go ahead.
would this company be a candidate to do the work as well, or they would just do the study and then we'd hire someone else to do the labor?
This is just an engineering company.
okay,
The
but
the
would
most
they
they would do is maybe oversight of the project and,
They wouldn't be the candidate?
they would
for
not be the-
Okay,
no.
okay.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Gravier. Do I have a motion to accept?
So moved.
Second.
Okay, any further discussion? Any questions from the audience? Those in favor?
Aye.
The next order of business, discussion and consideration and possible vote on a resolution honoring Senator Carper for his dedicated service to Bethany Beach. Mayor.
This is the preparation of an official resolution that can be presented to Senator Carper on October 30th at a reception for him at the Milton Theater. This is, he's having several receptions around the state. The one in the southern part of the state in Sussex County will be on the 30th and at Milton Theater. He has done so much for all of the beach communities over the years. Sussex County Association of Towns is providing a plaque representing the county where most of the member towns, including Bethany, will be putting a pin on the map of the county, noting each town. But we felt that something directly from Bethany Beach alone would go that extra mile. And I think with, with all that he has done, it's definitely something that we should go the extra mile for. And we're hoping to present it to him that evening. But even if things don't work out exactly that way, we can certainly hand it to him and make as much attention, draw as much attention to it as is possible. So, Jerry?
Do I have a motion to accept?
I so moved.
Second?
Second?
All those in favor?
Whoa.
Discussion.
Is the resolution been written yet?
It has been.
Okay.
It was only written today.
Okay.
I can show it to you after.
That's fine. That's fine, because we don't have a lot of time.
I know.
Till the 30th.
I know.
And if I had to write it, it'd say January 30th.
No, it is written.
Rosemary's got one.
Yeah, that's important. Would it be more effective if we actually had it here?
I don't think you're going to get him here.
Get him here? He's a busy man.
Mayor?
Okay.
He's a busy man.
Mayor, Terry has something.
Do you want to go through all that?
I think we're okay.
You think it's okay?
I think we're okay with the way we are.
Okay.
yeah.
Okay. I mean, it's available and you can read it. Jerry, do
Any comments from the audience? I hear not, any more comments from Peanut Gallery here? No? All those in favor?
Aye.
No opposed? Motion's carried. Last order of business. We
Aye,
got
aye.
all the way to M. Amazing. Consideration for a motion to go into executive session to discuss the personnel matters pursuant of 229 Delaware C 1004 B 9 and 6 relating to personal matters. Mayor,
Well, there is no discussion, so do we have a motion to
we
accept?
have a motion to accept. Whose motion?
So
Okay,
moved.
those in favor?
So moved.
And a second?
Second.
No discussion?
No discussion.
Those in favor?
Yeah.
Aye.
Aye.
Okay. Thank you. We will go into consecutive session. Do I have a motion to adjourn our regular meeting?
So moved.
Second?
We go into recess, not to adjourn.
Yeah, to go into recess. Those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Thank you very much for everybody coming.
Oh, we made it to the first one.